Turning down a multi-million-dollar movie deal might sound crazy, but these 10 actors did just that. Number 6 on this list said no to a role that would have made them $278 million, while number 2 passed on a movie that went on to win an Oscar. And let's just say, they're probably regretting those choices now. Christian Bale portrayed Batman in Nolan's famous trilogy. He could have made $50 million to reprise the role of the DC superhero in Batman vs. Superman, but turned it down. Why? Well, Bale's known for his artistic integrity. He's not exactly the type to chase a paycheck, especially when he's already sitting on a net worth of over $100 million. And looking back at the infamous Martha debacle that nearly sank Batman vs. Superman, it's clear that Bale probably dodged a serious bullet. If it wasn't for Julia Roberts turning down the role of Lee Ann from The Blind Side, Sandra Bullock wouldn't have gotten her Academy Award. Bullock made $5 million for the famous sports drama, far less than she has made in her other highly successful films. Roberts was probably offered more than $5 million for the role, though. After all, she was the highest-paid actress at the turn of the century when she made $20 million for Erin Brockovich. She set a new record. No actress had pocketed that much money prior to that. Just like Julia Roberts, Angelina Jolie also turned down a role that ultimately went to Sandra Bullock. She didn't walk away because she didn't like the script, though, but rather because she already had another project going on with another studio. This was not the only time she was forced away from a project. Jolie had to stop directing for several years while undergoing a divorce from Brad Pitt. Bullock ended up making $70 million from this venture. It's hard to imagine anybody but Christian Bale in Mary Herron's adaptation of American Psycho, but the role was actually first offered to Leonardo DiCaprio, who was at the time one of the most sought-after young actors in the industry. The Wolf of Wall Street star was genuinely interested in the project, even though some thought he'd be making career suicide. He was offered $20 million. Seinfeld is one of the biggest and most famous TV shows of all time. It ran from 1989 to 1998. Jerry Seinfeld was offered $110 million to do another season with 22 episodes, but he turned the offer down. He thought that the show ended on a perfect note and that the quality would suffer if they were to make the 10th season. Just like Christian Bale, Michael Keaton also turned down another opportunity to portray the Caped Crusader in Batman Forever in 1995. He thought that the script was not all that great. Keaton is famous for turning down roles that he doesn't like. Other roles he turned down include Willy Wonka from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Seth Brundle from The Fly. Matt Damon was offered 10% of Avatar's profits to appear in the movie, but he turned the role down. Little did he know that the movie would be a humongous success and that he could have pocketed approximately $278 million. Damon spoke about his decision to turn down the role at the Cannes Film Festival in 2021. He certainly regrets the decision, especially considering how much money the Avatar sequel made in 2022. Sean Connery was offered to play Gandalf in Peter Jackson's iconic The Lord of the Rings trilogy for at least $30 million, plus 15% of the box office profits. He turned the role down because he wasn't a fan of the book nor the script, claiming he simply didn't understand the appeal. If he were to accept the role, he would have made more than $500 million, but he had no regrets. One of Jodie Foster's most famous movie roles is FBI agent Clarice Starling in Silence of the Lambs. The movie was a huge success and won several Academy Awards. When Foster was approached to reprise the role in Hannibal, but turned the $15 million down. The diplomatic reason is that she was working on Flora Plum at the time, but the actress also said that she wasn't comfortable with the character's arc. She was replaced by Julianne Moore. In 1994, Speed was such a success that Keanu Reeves was offered $12 million to appear in the sequel, Speed 2 Cruise Control, 1997. He read the script but didn't like it at all and stood his ground, despite the fortune he was offered. The second installment turned down to be a flop, just like the Matrix star anticipated. Seems in this case the actor made the right decision.